Hi, my name's John Metcalf. So this video is about my views on strength training and adaptation. The two are really important parts of the whole training process. The strength training part should be of sufficient intensity to provide a stimulus for adaptation, and then the recovery should allow this adaptation to occur. So with this in mind, I'm going to give you now my 3 top tips for optimal recovery, and what's more, they're all free. So number 1 is to give it time. Everybody these days seems to be in a rush with the recovery and trying to speed it up. Now that might be applicable if you are an athlete who is competing in several events which are close to each other, and you need to be, speed up the recovery in between each of those events. But for myself, who's just doing strength training and the goal is to increase the strength and maximize their adaptations, then there's no need to speed up the recovery. Now I say this because recovery is a series of processes that your body needs to go through, and to rush through them isn't always the optimal way to go about things. So for example, the inflammation process that your body goes through is a key stage of adaptation, and to try and blunt that and speed it up might compromise the actual quality of the adaptation overall. So it's worth having to think about your philosophy and what you want out of your training. For me, I want to get the maximum adaptation I possibly can. It's not about seeing how many times I can train during a week. So my training frequency is subordinate to the adaptation. So with that in mind, generally I will do about maximum 2 strength training sessions a week. It might even be once every 5 days, it might be once a week. It all depends on whether I'm fully recovered. And I need to be fully recovered because then that allows me to train at a sufficient intensity the following workout and maximize on the adaptation. Number 2 is sleep. Sleep is by orders of magnitude the best recovery modality there is out there. You could think of every other recovery method, add them together, and it won't even come anywhere near the recovery powers that sleep has. So having good sleep hygiene is of paramount importance. So it's about being disciplined with your bedtimes and going to bed at the same time every night and getting up at the same time every morning. And that's for the whole week. Don't sleep in at weekends, because each hour that you sleep in at a weekend has the same sort of negative jet lag effect as one time zone shift. So if, for example, you usually get up at 7 o'clock during the week, and at the weekends you lie in, get up at 10 o'clock, then that's the equivalent of traveling 3 time zones. And we all know how bad jet lag is on our bodies. So yeah, get into a good routine with your bedtimes and waking up times. And you should try and aim to be consistent with your meal times as well. I avoid eating later in the evening because when I'm asleep, it means my body will be digesting that meal instead of focusing on restoration and recovery. And of course, we need to avoid bright lights at night, computer screens, mobile phones and things. It's best to avoid those for a few hours before bedtime so that your body can naturally wind down and go to sleep. Okay, number 3 is about getting your nutrition on point. There are loads of expensive recovery supplements out there, but they're going to be useless if your nutrition is crap. And if your nutrition is good, then there's a fair chance you won't need them anyways. So it's all the nutritional classics. I make sure my diet is comprised of all the major food groups. It's organic where possible. It's minimal processing. I prepare most of my meals, and it's local and it's seasonal, when applicable. And that way I know my body's getting all the correct building blocks for that recovery process. So a bonus tip to help with recovery is to reduce overall daily stress. Now I know in this day and age that's a really big ask, but your body only has a finite amount of resources to deal with stress, and training stress is just one of many things that are going to be occurring in a day. So if you can reduce your life stresses, it means your body has more resources to devote to the training adaptation. And this avoidance of extraneous stress is a key reason why I don't have a high strength training frequency, and I only train maybe twice a week. So I often see people try and sidestep this training stress issue by training different body parts on different days. So although they may be training for 6 days a week, the different body parts maybe only get trained on 2 non-consecutive days. Now, while this goes some way to alleviating the muscle stress on the particular muscles, it doesn't alleviate the whole stress on the body, because the body is getting stressed is getting a training stress every day. It's having to recover from the training every day, and systems like the endocrine system are having to work every day to deal with this training stress. So that's why I really back off on the training stress. I just do 1 set that's intense enough to bring about the adaptation, and then I let the body have the time it needs to do that adaptation. Okay, so to summarize, my top 3 tips for recovery are: number 1, give your body sufficient time for recovery. Number 2, get plenty of sleep. It is the best recovery modality you can have. Number 3, make sure your nutrition is on point so your body gets all the building blocks it needs. And as the bonus, try and reduce as much stress as you possibly can in your life, and then your body can devote its resources to recovering. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope it made sense, and I hope you can make use of it. If you did, please like it and please subscribe to my channel.